Good evening. Happy Friday. Here we are. This is the where's the umlauts Kolsch? Where's the umlauts? Because it's not really a Kolsch. Version 2. This is it. It's, what shall I say? So I've done some video footage for this. I was planning to do a video for it, a grain to glass, for the 28-day challenge. That I've got foam on my nose, haven't I? I've had a taster. Yeah. So I've completely confused myself now with that foam on my nose. I just noticed it on the camera. I'm thinking there's a spot on that camera, and then realised it moved when I moved. Right. Where was I? Yes, this. So I was planning to do a video, like a full grain to glass for this, for the 28-day challenge that Sarah Pantry and Graham Preston put up on the BrewTube channel. And I've taken a lot of footage, not a lot, but I've taken footage to put together to do some, and I may do a bit more of a down the road tasting. But this is first day kegged. This is it. I kegged this earlier today, and this is where it's like now. I mean, it's yeah, it's a little hazy at the minute, but it's carved, it's chilled, pardon me, and it's got a good carbonation, I'll be honest. So what is it? Well, this is basically 4 kilos of Pilsner malt, 500 grams of Cara Pils, and that's it for the malt bill. The yeast? The yeast, I can say, it was supposed to be a Kolsch yeast. I couldn't find one. I thought I had one, so I used US-05, and then I found one, a Kolsch yeast. It was really annoying and frustrating when I do that. I thought I had Cross Maloof Kolsch yeast, but it turns out no, I had some Lallemand, so I was looking in completely the wrong place. Right. So there. So I use US-05 yeast. Hops in this are Sabro, just purely Sabro. 70 minutes, 10 grams, 5 minutes, 10 grams, and then a 20-minute hop stand at 75 degrees with, surprise, surprise, 10 grams. So total of 30 grams worth of hops in this, that's all. But how does it taste, you ask? Well, aroma-wise, it's quite light. There's a little bit of a citrus note, but very, very little. Taste-wise, then. Please remember, this is very green. Literally, it came out the fermenter this morning into the keg. I did my old 3 minutes of forced carbonate shaking in the keg whilst it was at 30 psi, and here we are. But it's pretty clean. It's pretty clean. It's not as crisp, obviously, as, say, a lager. Probably not as crisp as a proper Kolsch would be. I'd used the bloody Kolsch yeast I intended to. But even then, I don't think you get as crisp as a lager doing that either. So it's very clean, very light. It's got a pithy bitterness from the Sabro, so it's got that citrus zestiness, but with a bitterness to it, because obviously, as I say, it's the Sabro is more of a pithy, isn't it? It's more like when you eat the white bit of the lemon, say, the pith, funnily enough, that you get that really bitter, zesty taste, which will mellow that. Obviously, as I say, it's quite green, but there we go. Very, very nice. Now we just need a bit of sunshine to go with it, and I'll be really happy. So, what else? What else have we been doing? So we've been a bit busy. The fermenter has been refilled. Yeah, I did that this morning whilst, yeah, who says I can't multitask. So I transferred from the fermenter to the keg whilst also brewing. And that was kind of vacant gesture, but I've really gone to town with the hops with it. So to reuse the yeast cake from this brew, which as I said was US-05, I decided to make a pale ale vacant gesture style real fruit bomb, and chuck that onto the yeast cake so that I get twice my money. Get twice my money's worth out of that yeast. That's my, pardon me, quite Yorkshire philosophy, and the fact I'm just a tight bastard anyway, wherever I would have come from. So, malt wise, it's exactly the same as I do for every vacant gesture. So it's just vacant gesture, basically the malt bill. However, when it came to the hops, I used Challenger to start with at the 60-minute, which is basically normal. I used about 33 grams. I go for about 22 IBUs at that point. And then I have the hop stand at 75C for 20 minutes, in which I chucked in, I think, 41 grams of Idaho 7, 50 grams of Galaxy, 50 grams of Citra. Yep, and then there's a dry hop of another 50 grams of Citra and another 50 grams of Galaxy that was going in for the 3-day dry hop. So just the one dry hop I'm doing, but I say with 100 grams of hops. So should be alright, hop bomb. Looking forward to that. And it came out this morning. I think it was supposed to come out 1.044, and it came out at 1.045. I think I was right. I knew I was 1 point over from what I should have been, which I'll take. I used the small batch pipe work for the grain father, the little bits, rather than the normally I've been doing it with the full, so I've gone a little bit over, which surprised me, because I thought it'd be more accurate with the small batch pipe work, but it was really tight. It was really tight between the two of those, which set of pipe work to use for that recipe, because it was right on the edge for the small pipe work, and it's pretty shit low for the large pipe work. So I maybe need another set of pipe work, a medium-sized set of pipe work. Who knows? Yeah, so it went all right. It went all right. No issues other than I was starting to get the boil over at the start. I was stirring with the spoon, dropped the spoon, went into the boil. Can't reach in to get it, because it's just to say long enough for stirring, and it keeps me from hitting the filter and knocking the filter off when I'm stirring. But I can't get to the bottom plate to scrape it or anything, so I never have. So when I dropped it, that was it. I couldn't get it for the whole rest of the boil. Just had to leave it there, and to stop the boil over, I just go and blow it for a bit. So yeah, that was the only thing. I managed to retrieve it again by the end of the boil, because obviously it boiled, been enough of a boil off to remove enough water for me to be able to reach it again. So, hey, win-win. So yeah, so that's now in the fermenter, sitting there, and that should be done. Hopefully, I'd like that to be ready. Because it's onto a yeast cake, it'll be a lot quicker than had I just done it with a single pack of yeast. But it is onto a yeast cake, so it should kick off reasonably quickly. It should get going by the end of today. I'm hoping. It hasn't yet got up to temp. It's only at 17.3. I tend to ferment at 20 with US-05 these days. For 5 days. My usual method is 5 days at 20, 2 days at 22, then 2 days at 2 to 4 degrees, depending on how I feel, depending on what the weather's like outside. But I tend to ramp it down to 2, bring it back up to 4, and leave it there for my cold crash. And then cake. And I think that might be, see, that's normally that's 9 days. So we're talking Friday to Monday, Saturday, Monday. We're talking 8 days, 8 to 9 days for that. But I'll probably end up cutting the number of diacetyl days. I might cut that just down to 1, have 1 day. It needs 2 days cold crash, I think, this, because it's going to have a lot of hops in. It's going to have a dry hop yet. But I really think I'm going to I might drop a day off the normal brewing. 4 days, I think, will get it down to its final gravity. I think 4 or 5 days should get down to its normal final gravity with the diacetyl rest of 22 per day. That gives me 5, then 2 days cold crash, 7 days, 7 days from Friday. Yeah, I can be done. I can be done for Easter Monday. That is the plan. Easter Monday to have the pale on. That should come out about 4.5 to 5% ish, somewhere around that. It depends how it finishes out. It's usually about 1.008, so I think that would work out at about 4.8%, 4.5%, somewhere around that, I think, rough guess. But this is really tasty. So that's what I brewed, and I've been having a little tinker about on the old Tinternet on YouTube, and really getting to know what people think of Nova Lager yeast, because I fancy a lager, a quick lager. Sun coming and all that, sunshine. It will be here. I am optimistic that we will have sunshine and that we will have a summer. And that it will start bloody soon, because I'm getting a bit cold, a bit pissed off that I want it. I keep trying to push it myself. Like, yeah, I'm going to go out, I'm going to wear shorts. I'm freaking freezing to death. Yeah, I've become that 50-year-old man that goes around in shorts. Not often, but I've done it so far, now and then. It's not a great idea, is it? I don't know why we do it. Anyway. Yeah. That is a winner. That's going to be a right winner for the summer, that. Anyway, so talking of Nova Lager, I have watched as many of you as I can. Mr. Scotch Pie, Little John's Brewing. Great name, I wonder where you got that from. Homebrew Network, Kegland. Who else was there? Who did it? I can't remember who else. I have seen a couple more, I think, who did Nova Lager brews and have discussed it. Anyway, so and I've really got into it. So I bought some yeast. I got some yeast from Malt Miller. I didn't know before that you could just get, like 3 or 4 packs of yeast, and they'll send it second class large letter, so you only pay £1.25 postage. What's the complaint about that? An extra, pardon me, 40 pence per pack of yeast ish, until the cost of you the yeast itself. You can't complain, really. As I say, I get normally 2 brews out of a yeast to go, so I'm quite pleased with that. So I've been planning my brews. So I'm going to do the Nova Lager yeast, and the Nova Lager yeast. I also got Farmhouse Lallemand yeast and some Verdant, some classic Verdant yeast as well. So I bought 3 Lallemand yeast and started to set up for my brews. I had initially, week before, put a post up on YouTube, BrewTube official on Facebook about what's everyone going to be brewing next, and quite a few have mentioned the Mergy, that you wanted to brew the Mergy, or doing the Mergy. It's Richard Williams, Dickie, Dude's Brew. He'd put up about the Nova Lager yeast, which got me intrigued. The Mergy's got me intrigued, and so I'm looking at maybe doing the Mergy at some point. But I'd had 3 beers at that point that I wanted to do. Well, now I'm going to set those aside a bit and bring in these new ones. So the first up is with the Nova Lager. I'm going to do the Czech Pilsner. And the reason I'm going to do the Czech Pilsner, because like I do with all yeasts these days, certainly dry yeast, I like to get at least a second brew out of them. So I will do the first brew will be a Czech Pilsner, because it's nice and clean, nice and simple. And I like to go from a light beer up to a darker beer, because the second one is, I was going to go get the book, but I don't need to. Traditional Bock from the Bible. I'm going to do, there's a Bock, isn't it? I'm going to have to look, because it's going to annoy me otherwise, if I haven't got it right. So yeah, the Czech Pilsner, then not the Helles Bock. The traditional, traditional Bock. That beauty. Gonna have a go at that after that. So that'll be my 2 lagers that I'm going to do using the Nova Lager yeast. Farmhouse. Really not sure yet what to do with the farmhouse. I haven't come up with a plan yet with what to do with the farmhouse. I might do a beer de gar. I've always fancied doing a beer de gar. Dickie mentioned doing a grisette. He's got some farmhouse as well, and he's also going to doing the Nova Lager. I'm sure he'll do a video on it. And he's doing a grisette, and that's tempting. But if I've got already 2 lagers on the Kolsch that I'm doing, pale ale, I might want to try something a bit more traditional saison-y, like a farmhouse ale, or even, like I say, a beer de gar. Because I do have, with me, this book, which I've had now for 5-6 years now. Read it cover to cover, and I've never brewed a beer from it yet, and I really should. Gets a classic rustic ale going. So that's with those. Obviously, with the version, I'll just chuck together a load of hops and see what comes out with that. And I have bought some hops recently. I have got shitloads left, but I was getting low on Citra. So I bought just under 1 kilo of Citra from across my Louvre, and I got some Labatt Northern Brewer as well, so that I can do that bock. With the Northern Brewer, I'm not sure how much I'll need for that bock, but I might have some left over to do something else. Another German beer. We'll see. So they're my Mormon 3 brews. Certainly the first 2 are going to be these lagers. So I do want summer. I do want a bit of summer. Because I've been having there's the 4 Points Helles, Bermondsey Helles, that 4 Point have been brewing specifically for Lidl. And I've had that for the last week and a half, every other night. Had a can or 2 of it, and I have to say, I really like it. So I've got a taste for the old lagery doodles now. So going back to the beers that I'd wanted to do, that I put aside, one of them is using, once again, Lallemand. I don't work for her. They just seem to be doing some interesting yeast these days. So I'm going to be using their Philly Sour, because I've got some Nelson Sauvin, and I'll do a light sour, but almost like a white wine type sour with it. So it'll be lightly soured with Nelson Sauvin to give it that gooseberry white wine feel, probably with some Pilsner. Similar to what I used to do with, I can't remember the name of the yeast. It was one of these Crike yeast I got that soured, and then you chucked in your hops and it stopped it souring. And I can't remember which one it was, but it also worked as a yeast as well. So the Philly Sour, obviously you need some sugar, I guess. I think I used 1 kilo of sugar last time I did a Philly Sour, and it was too much. And so this time I'm going to go with just the 500 grams of sugar that pretty much everybody else has used, because I like the souring, but it was a little bit more than I want this for this. So I'll probably use 500 grams and see how that goes for that beer. What else was there? So after that, there was I think it's the Drovers I want to do. Bear with me again while I get this book. I think I've got this marked up. Yeah, Wishbone Drover. I fancy doing this. And it needs Challenger, Columbus, Cascade and Challenger. Now there's only one of those I don't have, and I believe it is Columbus. And I think I had something I could use instead of it. Now if I just check back through this, there was a hops at a glance. What did I say? Columbus. Oh, maybe not sherbet, black pepper, licorice. No, there wasn't something for that, was there? Chinook, grapefruit, citrus, pine. Yes, I think I can replace the Chinook. I can pretty much replace the Chinook using, say, Bramling Cross. I know it's supposed to give us a bit of, not Bramling. What am I talking about? Bramling Cross. Sabro. Sabro gives that grapefruit and citrus. Doesn't give the pine, but you get a pithy citrus, grapefruity taste of it. And there was something that needed Brewer's Gold. There was a beer I was going to do with Brewer's Gold, but I didn't have Brewer's Gold, so I'm going to swap it for Bramling Cross because it was just the same, and I can't remember what that was. It was probably in this book. I can just quickly jump to the ones I've got marked. Oh, it might well have been the Californian Common that I can do a beer with. That wasn't the one that needed it. What's this? American wheat beer. Oh yeah, I'm going to do an American wheat beer as well. Obviously, you've got to have an American wheat beer coming up this summer. So the Drover. I'm going to do the Drover. I've got to get the hops, I guess, for that. I've got all the malts for everything. That's not a problem. Yeah, so it needs Challenger, which I'm alright with. Columbus. I need Columbus. I've got Cascade, I think. I've got some Cascade, so I just need some Columbus, and then it's Challenger again. So yeah, I just need some Columbus, and then I can do that. And I'll probably do that with an SO4 yeast. I don't know what yeast it normally uses. SO4, perfect. So I just need to get some of that for that. Yeah, it's been busy. 20 minutes we've been talking. And I've actually been talking about beer for a change, just beer. That is a good beer. So yeah, if you get a chance, try that Bermondsey Helles that is in Lidl by 4 points. It is actually reasonably good. I mean, it's not world class. You're not going to go, oh my god, this is one of the best Helles I've ever had. But I think it's $1.25 a can, 330ml can. But price of things these days, what can you expect? Everything's just gone ridiculous. I got new gas last week. Went and got some more gas. That has been going up incrementally high. So I paid last December, not December just gone, the December before, I paid 28 quid. So that's 2021. 2019 in December, I'd paid £23. So I was expecting somewhere near £35-40 for this month. Thankfully it wasn't, it was just £30 and some pence. So I've got my gas, so I'm happy with that. It seems the price has gone starting to tail off now with that, which is good. Just a quick refill. See, it's quite well carved. Gives a good head. Quite happy with that. Very happy with that. Yeah, very happy with that. So I think I might. Really meringue soft head that. It's really good head. I mean, look at how. That's just what, literally, been in the keg a few hours, carved, 30 psi, and that's the kind of head I've got for it. Really happy with that. That's a good lager head, isn't it? I do like a bit of head. So, for now, I think that's pretty much it. I've turned into bloody Finbar Saunders, so I think it's probably time for me to go. There's a lot there I've gone through, I suppose, a lot to talk about then, a lot to say. I look forward to trying this Nova Lager yeast. I'm really excited for it. I really hope it is, as everyone says. I mean, a lager in just over a week, you couldn't get any more me than that, can you? Johnny doing his 48-hour beer, quickest beer in the world. Damn, you beat me. What can I say? I've been finally beaten in my making a beer as quick as possible. Although I may accept that challenge and try and do even quicker. Obviously, I've done raw ales before, where it's just the time it takes to make the damn thing and chuck the quike in and be done by the next day. So, hey, I don't know if that really counts, does it? Because, yeah, that was quick. That was quick, raw ale. There was no boiling, was it? It was just mash out, yeast in, away you go with the quike. Anyway, cheers. Thanks for watching if you got this far, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.